'Tis I. Hey everyone, glad to see you back, glad to see you looking fresh, and today I want to talk about the games announced during the E3 season of 2025. That's still what I call the season. I think that's what I'll always call the season. Summer Games Fest is what it's really called, but E3 will be forever alive in my heart. I'm going to go through all the games that really interested me. That's not every game that got announced. I will only talk about new announcements, so any new updates, any release trailers, anything like that. This is all fresh announcements, fresh out of the gate. I'm going to go through all the showcases, so that's PlayStation, that's Summer Games Fest proper, that's Day of the Devs, that's the Wholesome Games, and that's Xbox. All the games that really piqued my interest. And so let's just get started. Let's talk about some games. We'll start with Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. So I hope I said that correctly. I have never played the original, and so I am extremely excited. I'm starting with one of my favorite announcements from all of the showcases. Recently, I have been itching to play this game. It seems like it'd be right up my alley. I love Final Fantasy. I love a good tactics game, and so of course it seems like it would just work for me. So, of course, I was looking through how to play it. I know there's the original PlayStation and the PSP version, and while I could, I guess, get one of those, there's no really good way to play it on modern consoles. So, them just announcing a remake sounded perfect. It still sounds perfect. I am extremely excited to play it when it finally comes out. And I'll be all over this. I'll be all over this one. Bloodstained, the Scarlet engagement. I really should get on these with how much I've become a Metroidvania fan over the years. This one seems like just another really good one. I haven't played either of the other two, but just another really solid Metroidvania that would probably really work for me. So this may be my calling card to finally get on the Bloodstained games and really give them a go. Romeo's a Dead Man, the new Suda 51 game. These games always just look very aggressively outlandish and weird and zany, so could work for me. Not every one of his games work. Some of them work for me more than others. I hope this one works. It's right up there, you know, just straight up. I hope it's a really fun, really wacky game that I can enjoy, that others can enjoy, and one thing you can't say about it is that these games are without style. These games are just jam-packed full of weirdness, so one of the flashiest game announcements for sure. Nioh 3! Again, much like with Bloodstained, this may just be the push that I need to finally hop on the Nioh train, because I've been meaning to for a long time. Ever since they did that collection when the PS5 first came out, I'm like, I should get that Nioh collection and play those. Because even though I'm not a big Souls-like guy, the Nioh games seem like they could work for me. They seem like not the hardest in the genre. They seem to strike up more of a balance with story, rather than like background story, characters you can latch onto and all that kind of thing. So, seems like something I would like. So, maybe this is the final push I need to get on those, and then I can be excited about Nioh 3 right alongside everybody else. Sea of Remnants is probably the game that has the most potential. I don't really know the developer. I don't really know the publisher. It's just a game about pirates that I couldn't tell you anything more about. I couldn't tell you if it's an open world game, if it's a strategy game, if it's a mobile game, really. Probably won't be at the PlayStation event. But I don't know anything. All that I know is what I saw in the trailer really intrigued me, and this game really could go above and beyond and be something really special. Because there's not a lot of pirate games, and of course everyone will be like, what about Sea of Thieves? Sure, name a second one, right? Lego Pirates of the Caribbean? Assassin's Creed 4 that came out over a decade ago? Like, there are other games, sure, but this is a near untapped genre that could really be huge, and a game like this could really work. And of course, Marvel TOKON. I made a whole video talking about why I'm excited about this game in particular, talking about the roster I'd like to see. So if you'd like to see that, go check out that video after this one is done. But a Marvel 4v4 fighter, harkening back to the days of Marvel vs. Capcom, but it's Marvel vs. Marvel this time. Hoping for a giant flashy experience. Hope to be there day one, hoping to be there diving in if there's a lot of good single player content That's what I'm hoping to see. Basically, I just want to see characters I love in a fighting game. And that's what Marvel vs. Capcom spirit is, what I hope they carry through. Once they showed that they're not only just including Iron Man and Cap and Spider-Man and Miss Marvel and the ones I feel like they had to, they started showing characters like Ghost Rider and Storm and Star-Lord. I'm like, okay, they seem like fans. I'm pretty stoked now. So let's jump over to Summer Games Fest proper, which didn't have as many games that I was really excited about. It's got Pilgrim EX. It's insane to me that this game is getting a sequel, considering how long we just had to hope and beg that Ubisoft unshackles the original and allows it to exist on modern hardware. The fact that a second game could be coming is very exciting. It seems like they're tying it into the Scott Pilgrim anime, which was cut short. I'm excited. I'm excited to be back playing a beat 'em up like this. It seems like I'm gonna really, really enjoy it. And I'm just excited. Hopefully they just print it on physical right away so I don't have to go through the whole rigmarole of what happened last time with it. Jurassic World Evolution 3, this one was kind of just quick announced. They didn't have a lot of pomp and circumstance behind this one. They were just like, yeah, we're doing another one. And I love a certain amount of tycoon games, a certain type of tycoon games, mainly like Park Builders, Zoo Tycoon-esque, Roller Coaster Tycoon-esque, those two. Anything that can be like those two, I'm about. I grew up on those tycoon games, and I'm pretty sure like the ones you grew up with are the ones you're gonna love, me included, for sure. So, the original Jurassic World Evolution I loved. The second one not as much. They changed up the gameplay a lot, and I think that it's kind of a sidestep in the reduction I'm not as much of a fan of. I prefer a straight-down-the-line park builder like what the first one had, with different challenges and challenge maps and simulations. The second one, the main story felt like a big tutorial, and then the meat of the game was kind of just freeform and playing through the quote-unquote movies, which were like the movies, but not like the movies. So I'm hoping that number 3 can work more on the first game than the second one. And of course, Resident Evil Requiem. That could just be the mic drop right there, but put it in right in the middle of this video. A new Resident Evil game is a big deal. A new numbered Resident Evil game is even a bigger deal in the world of gaming. And it doesn't feel like it's been very long since Village, but I mean, if you look at it, it's been a few years. We're ready to see what's next. Ethan's story is done. And I'm just excited. Everything I've heard, you know, going back to Raccoon City, that's I've seen, not just heard. But when I've heard about people that have seen more of the game than what I have, it's expansive. It's just looking like it's fun and spooky, which, I mean, that's what the franchise is, really. I cannot wait. I'm extremely excited to see who comes back, what characters are in it. Of course, I hope my guy Leon's in it, and Ada. Those two, iconic. I love them to death. So I hope they're back in Raccoon City. For my sake, not for their sake. Day of the Dev always has a couple that I get excited about. They kicked off their show talking about a game called Snap and Grab, which is a game where you play someone that's starting a heist, and she's like an expert thief, and you don't actually like do the thieving. You like take pictures of the setup, and then you get to piece together what the plan is, and you put the plan in action, and you hope everything goes according to plan. You hope that you've done enough setup, you've done enough legwork, you've accounted for enough things to make the plan work. It seemed really cool to me. I really like the art style, I really like the character design, I really like the world building they seem to have. It looks like it could be a lot of fun. And the other Day of the Devs game that I wanted to speak about was a game called Neverway, which essentially is if, like, say, a game like Stardew Valley was infected with, like, Lovecraftian horror. And you can farm, and you can make friends, and you can get married, and you can do all the cutesy life sim stuff that a lot of farming games have. But also, at nighttime, you gotta dungeon delve, you gotta fight monsters, you have to survive horrors, and it's like, whoa, this is like out there. They seem to really love these two concepts. They found a way to mash them together. And I really liked what they said about you play it at your own pace. Like a lot of farming games, it's like a day-to-day thing. You have to work everything in a daytime period where you have to try to manage your time. But this one, it's up to you when the time keeps going, right? So you can farm all day long, make sure all your farming is done, and then essentially I think they said when you like eat or sleep or something, you progress to a new time period. So it's like morning, midday, and nighttime or something like that. It's up to you to progress it to the next section. So that seems like it could be a ton of fun. The farming game genre, of course, if you just love farming games, you don't think this, but can be a little stale sometimes. So anytime a new idea like this shows up, it's exciting. The Wholesome Games Direct didn't have a ton for me. There was one cute little game called Milano's Odd Job Collection, which I think is a collection of old games, so I'm kind of cheating with this, but it's a collection of games that never came to the West. I think they were Japanese exclusives. I don't really know much about it. It seems like a bunch of small little games that just never came out over here. They seem like they could be a lot of fun. It's cool to see something like this be brought over to the West that was never here, so that's just a neat little thing. Fortunately, like I said, that showcase wasn't really for me this year, but there was some okay things, just not a lot that really spoke to me. So let's jump to Xbox. We'll talk about Ninja Gaiden 4. I've never played a Ninja Gaiden, but even I'm like, that's sick. Seeing the Koei Tecmo and everything. I didn't know that they were like attached to the Xbox brand by any means, but I guess they are. And so, yeah, new Ninja Gaiden. It's funny because Ninja Gaiden 3 in my head is a Wii U game, so it's been a long time since I numbered Ninja Gaiden. But also there's like these style Ninja Gaiden, and also there's like the Ragebound style Ninja Gaiden, the 2D action ones. So it's calling itself Ninja Gaiden 4 is always a little weird to me, because it's like, well, is number 1 the one on the NES? No, because there's 1, 2, and 3 that were all those platformer styles. So naming scheme aside, this game seems like it's gonna be that hard. I keep wanting to say beat 'em ups, hack and slash style fighting, not fighting game, action game. I'm really stumbling over my words. It's not a beat 'em up fighting game. It's a hack and slash action game that people are excited for, and I'm intrigued by it for sure. Super Meat Boy 3D, I don't know how you could have something as fast-paced and rage-inducing as the original Super Meat Boy play out in 3D. Willing to give it a chance though, because I prefer 3D platformers over 2D platformers, but I just hope it can harken back to the fun and the gameplay styles and the pure enjoyment of the original Super Meat Boy, which they have been struggling with that franchise since that first one came out. It was very lightning in a bottle, and they haven't been able to recapture it since. Animo is this weird, maybe open world game, Pokemon inspired clearly, where you can control the little monsters and they can do different tasks. They can solve puzzles and fight and stuff, and it's another game that seems like it's gonna try to be a Pokemon killer, and I'm all for more monster collecting RPGs, so I'll give it a go. But speaking of Pokemon, there was a new game from Game Freak. It's just notable because of how the game looks, and people are like, how can Game Freak do this and Pokemon? They've always done other games other than Pokemon. None of them have really been much to mention. They've always they've been okay. Like they review okay. The 6 and 7, they're not like beloved by any means. This one seems like it's trying to be a little bit more above and beyond, so give them props for that. And I'll end where I began. One of my most excited about, and it's a remake of a game that I've been meaning to play. Persona 4 Revival. This was another very quick announcement, basically like, okay, we're doing it. Good enough for me. That's all I really need to know. I could go until release date, personally, without seeing any more from this game and still pick it up. But, obviously, we're going to see more coming in the next few months, I'm sure, before this game comes out. Probably next year. I'm very excited about that. I obviously love Persona 5. I love Persona 3 Reload when I played it. Metaphor Fantasia was a ton of fun. I'm all down to just keep playing more of these types of games. So, tide us over until Persona 6. whenever that decides to happen. I know people are getting a little bit antsy, being like, they need to stop with these. And I mean, I'm excited. All other people are excited too. And if the next game isn't Persona 6 and it's like Persona 2 redo, I agree that maybe they're doing a little bit too much. But I mean, I would be lying if I didn't say I wouldn't play that game too. So, anyways, I'm stoked for Persona 4 Revival. I figured they would after the success of Persona 3 Reload. So, anyways, those are the games I am most excited about from this year's E3 season. Of course, there's no Nintendo stuff on here because the last Direct we got was in April, and that seems silly to include all that stuff. But I mean, there was a Donkey Kong Direct, but that wasn't new either. If they were like, new Donkey Kong secret, and they announced the new Donkey Kong in that game, then sure, but they didn't. That's not how that worked. So, anyways, that'll about do it for me today. I thank you so very much for watching, and as always, like this if you like this, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you at some point.